Hello, everyone. This is another Black Conservative. I am Ryan Boland. Thank you all for joining me. So, as we all know, Hurricane Ian, I believe it is pushing big time upon Florida. It has caused some major flooding, and Governor Ron Desantis has addressed the situation. But what I find particularly disgusting is that the liberal left media wants to make this a political issue and screaming climate change is the cause of this hurricane. They cannot leave politics out of this. Major flooding, several million people without power. And what does the left do? This is all about climate change. They want to push their political points. Desperate for attention. So I'm going to just read a portion of this article, and I'm going to give you a theory that I formed based on some information that I've been reading for the last few years in reference to weather modification machines and how I personally believe that it could be possible that these machines are being used. Let's get into this. So the article starts off, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis this week sharply dismissed establishment media attempts to politicize Hurricane Ian as they seem to salivate over the possibility of the DeSantis administration vouching the response. See, they don't like the man anyway. The left doesn't like him anyway. The left don't like the right don't like the left. It's a bunch of nonsense. But clearly they don't like DeSantis because DeSantis tends to think outside the box. He tends to speak outside the box. He doesn't tend to conform to what they want, so they got to attack him one way or the other. A reporter asked the governor about supposed concerns over Florida lacking response to the storm thus far, and DeSantis immediately questioned the validity of the inquiry. And DeSantis says, whoa, give me a break. That sounds like DeSantis. That is nonsense. Stop politicizing. Okay, stop it, DeSantis said, detailing that the state declared a state of emergency early on. So it wasn't that he was negligent in declaring a state of emergency, according to what he's saying here. He goes on to say, we've had people in here. You've had counties they've done a lot of hard work. And honestly, you're trying to attack me. But you're attacking these other people who worked very hard. And so that's just totally false, DeSantis said. And he goes on to say, I don't think we've ever, certainly since I've been governor, declared a state emergency this early. We made sure that we were very inclusive with it, he continued. We said that there was a lot of uncertainty, and then we've worked to make sure the preparations that have been done and all this stuff, you talk to the people at the counties when they've needed something, stuff gets there very quickly because of what Kevin and his team have done, the governor added. And, the article goes on to say some other things. For example, it says, indeed, Politico is among establishment outlets that have pondered if DeSantis will come out on top in the aftermath of Hurricane Ian, as Breitbart News detailed. So that's the end of that article. That's all I'm going to read right there. You can read the rest of that article in the description box below if you want to. But Once again, they're making this a political issue. The left is making this a political issue. They don't like DeSantis. DeSantis to the left reminds them too much of Trump. He's outspoken. He's brash. He's outspoken. He's bold. Now, whether or not he's a part of the establishment Republican Party, hey, I don't know. From my impression, he doesn't seem to be a part of that system. Okay, but let me say this. This is what I find ironic about this whole situation. When I read up on the fact that this horrifying hurricane was coming in, I said to myself, I find it ironic that this hurricane will be coming at such a time as we fast approach midterm elections. And I find it ironic that this hurricane, which from what I read, was at a category 4. If you read the rest of the article, it has decreased down to a mere tropical storm now. But at first, it was a category 4. It was high up there, coming in from Florida. And I said to myself, I find it ironic that this would be happening at such a time as being this close to the midterm elections, and how much the liberal establishment can't stand Desantis and his outspoken mindset. And I got to thinking, forming theories in my mind over based on information that I've been reading down through the years. And one of those theories that I formed is, what if, just what if, I'm not saying it is, what if the liberal establishment and the government are using weather modification machines? And before everybody say, oh, what are you talking about? Weather modification machines have been in existence in this world for quite some time. And it's been in existence with America for quite some time. It's not new. It's decades old. And one particular weather modification machine that I'm referring to is the weather modification machine called HAARP. Okay. HAARP. And it was built in 1993. And it's a system of satellites built in 1993, I believe, in Alaska. I forget the state in Alaska. And essentially what these satellites can do is, according to the information that I've read, is that these satellites can send EMF waves or electromagnetic frequency waves high into what is known as the ionosphere. Okay. And they can send these electromagnetic frequency waves into the ionosphere, into the atmosphere, superheat the ions, which I believe are subatomic particles, superheat them and cause all kinds of weather changes, even earthquakes, hurricanes, tornadoes, you name it. This HAARP can possibly produce these kind of weather effects. And when I thought about this, I thought about this situation with this hurricane coming in inland in Florida. And I couldn't help but think, what if the liberal establishment is so desperate that they're willing to somehow convince the Department of Defense, who are the ones that financed HAARP, the Department of Defense, or DARPA. DARPA is an acronym for Defense. What is it? DARPA is an acronym for I can't remember. Yes, that's what it is. Defense Advanced Research Project Agency. That's what DARPA stands for. Okay. And it is said that they helped finance HAARP. Now, I can't help but wonder if the liberal left is so desperate that they're willing to convince DARPA, i.e. the military, to use HAARP and perhaps other weather modification machines that they may have to aim these electromagnetic frequency satellites towards Florida. Because according to the information that I read, these satellites can be aimed anywhere. They can be aimed in anywhere. They could say, I want to aim this towards Cleveland, Ohio, and mess up the weather there and cause a tornado, something they never had before. They could do that. Whether or not they're doing it or not is another issue. But I'm just forming a theory. I can't help but wonder if the liberal establishment is so desperate to make Desantis look bad before the midterms come up, that they're willing to manipulate the weather with weather modification machines in order to create this horrific hurricane to make him look bad. Now, that may be seen far-fetched, but the way the mainstream media and the liberals are acting today, I would not put it behind me. I wouldn't put it behind me. I wouldn't put anything behind me, because anytime you don't have a sense of right and wrong, and you don't believe in right and wrong, and you believe in moral relativism and all this other evil stuff, as far as I'm concerned, no sense of right or wrong. Right or wrong is an alien concept to them. When you don't believe in right or wrong, you're willing to do anything to meet your objectives. And in terms of the liberal left, and when I say the liberal left, I'm not talking about people, regular people walking the street, working a 9 to 5. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the establishment. I'm talking about those people who have power, the politicians, the media conglomerates, the business entrepreneurs, super capitalists. They all tend to lean far to the left. They're radical in their viewpoints. And I believe that it's possible that they could be using weather modification machines to try to stir up a hurricane and send it towards Florida, to demonize Ron Desantis even more. I wouldn't put it behind me, but that's just a theory I formed. But nevertheless, ending this video on this, it's an unfortunate situation. I hope and pray that they're able to address the situation. I believe it says, the article says someone along the line of 2 million people are without power. And then one particular news source says that hundreds of people have lost their lives, but that has not been confirmed. So let's not, if you decide to read that article and you see that in there, it states that has not been confirmed. It's kind of hard for me to believe hundreds of people have died already. The thing just came in. How's 100 people going to die already? Sounds like to me that someone's trying to make up something to make it look worse than it actually is in order to demonize Ron DeSantis. I'm just saying, that's a theory that I formed. That's just what I think. And I think it's possible that they could be doing that. I didn't say they are, but it's possible. And I wouldn't put it behind me. What do you guys think about this? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel. God bless you all, and see you again.